Coming up today on That LTD Life, I'm going to be reviewing Iki.ai. This is a new lifetime deal that hit Appsumo that allows you to create a digital library so you can save anything from around the web, YouTube videos, links, Figma files, PDFs, anything you like, you can store on Iki for safekeeping. But of course, there is more. There's an AI component. They call it a copilot that can look into your library and then answer questions about it. So it's really like having a research assistant on call. Now, it can also create content based on that information that you've saved. So really, there's a lot going on here. It's a very powerful tool. My name is Dave, by the way. I'm from clientamp.com, and what you're watching is not a sponsored video. I am powered by your clicks. So if you want to allow me to continue to create a brand new LTD review every single day of the week, make sure you click on the link in the description before shopping at Appsumo. It can be for any product, Iki or otherwise. Thank you so much for everyone who has continued to support me. All right, now let's get right into things here. I'm not going to waste a lot of time, but I do want to mention that Appsumo just announced a flash sale. It's only going to be for 2 days, so by the time you see this video, probably about one. There's 3 deals that have been brought back. I don't really know any of them, but I thought I'd mention on the channel in case you missed the notification, and these are tools you're looking to grab. So Add You Need, Capture.me, and Catalyst Storytelling Studio are available right now for about another day or so. All right, PSA over. Let's get into Iki. So here's the Iki deal page. I'm going to come back to this at the end of the video. We'll spend a little bit of time here looking at the plans and pricing, but 2 things to note. First of all, I'm recording this video with the $39 tier 1 plan. So everything you see will be possible with that plan. However, I don't necessarily recommend that one. So stay tuned for the end. The other thing to mention is that these prices are going up on Monday, September 23rd. They will increase. How much? Probably not a whole lot, but to get the best deal, you want to act shortly. So watch the whole video, decide whether or not this is a good fit for you, and make your decision from there. So this is Iki, and you can see here I'm in dark mode. This is how they start you off. It's the default view. If you're more of a light mode person, we've got white mode over here. I can click that, and I'm now in white mode. I'm going to stick in dark for the rest of this video, but wanted to mention that it's there. Now, let me show you around the interface here. It's nice and clean and simple. I like it a lot. So up in the upper left-hand corner, we have Ask Iki. This is essentially our search engine, and it's got 3 different components. The first one is to search the web. So we can actually use their AI copilot to go out on the web, grab information for us, and answer a question directly. It'll still give us the sources, they'll be available, but I won't have to click into the page and do any reading. Instead, it's just going to display the answer. So this is really good for gathering factual information. How fast can a bear run? It's going to go out to the web, find out, and tells me that grizzly bears can reach up to 35 miles an hour, while black bears are slightly slower, but still faster than the average human. And if you're curious, polar bears can reach around 25 miles an hour. Basically, the moral of the story is don't get chased by a bear.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Over to the right here, I can see all of their sources. They went through a lot of pages to come up with this answer, so I feel pretty confident that I don't need to do a lot of fact checking here. So that is the web search. There's also a library search here. I'm going to start a new chat. We'll go back to that original interface. I can go over to library, and this is essentially going to search everything I have saved already into Iki. I'm not going to do this search right now. We'll come back here after we've saved some data into Iki, and you can see exactly how it works. Next, we're going to go over to the third option, which is to search Iki as a whole. Now, this is a little bit more complicated to explain. First of all, it's going to search the web. It's also going to search your library, but it'll also search other people who are using Iki and have made their information public. So that's right, there's a social component to this tool. Now, you don't have to participate. If you want to keep all of your information private, you can definitely do so, but other people want to share information, and so you can actually follow them like a regular social media network. There's a community section right over here. So if I go into the community, I can see collections and other people who are using this tool. And if I like them, like this guy right here, I believe he's the founder of Iki, I can just start following him. And in fact, I already am by default. But I can see everything that he has made public here. He's got multiple collections. Here are some individual items that he's saved. And then I can also see some experience that he has posted in his profile. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure how much I like the idea of having a social media network built into my personal knowledge base. It's not something I love. I don't think I'd use it, but at least I don't have to. It's not required. So that was the community tab. There's also a peers tab where you can just see basically a feed of what people are sharing here. So I can go into a specific item that they've shared, and we can see this is what it looks like when you save something inside of Iki. We'll save our own stuff in a minute, but here's what it looks like when someone else does. And we can even use Copilot to engage with it. If you're curious, their Copilot is powered by default with GPT-4o Mini, but if I click the dropdown, I can switch over to regular GPT-4o or even Claude 3.5 Sonnet. All right, next in the left-hand sidebar are collections. These are ways to organize our data inside of our digital library. I can create a new collection right here by hitting the plus button, and then I'll give it a name. I'm gonna give this one the name Appsumo, and then we can upload an image if we like. Here's the Appsumo taco I just uploaded. I can add a description, and then here is my first real gripe with the software. It says not private collection. That could be worded so much better. Not private means public, right? So why doesn't it say public collection? Okay, fine, we can think through that, but there's enough cognitive load there that we might make a mistake and accidentally make something private when we meant to make it public, or vice versa. The other problem is I don't know whether this represents on or off. Now, usually to the left is off, but not always. So if I toggle this over from not private collection to turn it into a private collection, okay, then the word actually updates to private collection. That alone is a little bit confusing. So this one area, which I think is going to be important to so many of you, needs to be clarified. It just needs to be much easier to understand whether something is public or private. I would simply just say public and then make this switch obviously be, say public, it's off. So it's not public, turn it on, then it becomes public. So essentially, if I'm getting this right, public is the default setting for a brand new collection, which I definitely do not love. Okay, so I'm gonna make this a private collection and I'll hit create. It says collection created. And then over here on the left-hand sidebar, I can see my Appsumo collection. Here it has a little lock next to it to signify that it is in fact private. So I didn't know, but I created these other two thinking they were private. So it got me. I'm sure it's going to get others as well. Next up, we need to get some information into our library. So let's check out the library here. I can add a new item just by clicking on the plus button right here. And it says I can add one or many links, upload PDFs, CSVs, TXT files, or add a note to my library. So I'm simply going to paste in a link to one of my YouTube videos here. And you can see it says private on. So that is good. If I toggle that, it says private off. Much better language there. Let's add it to my library. It's going to process the data. Now, there is one problem right now in that it's supposed to transcribe YouTube videos, but apparently it's not available because of some new policy. This is going to greatly impact the usability of the tool because part of what makes it so cool is that you can upload your YouTube videos and then ask it questions about them. It doesn't have to be your videos, by the way. It could be any videos. Maybe you have a 4-hour-long podcast you want to just summarize. You should be able to do that, but right now it's not available. So it's a bummer that the YouTube functionality is not working, but let's not let that stop us. I've got Noah's blog up here and I want to save this article. Now, of course, I could copy the URL and paste it right in, but there is also a Chrome extension. I've already got it installed. This is what the icon looks like. I'm going to click on it. I've got to log in. And now I can add this material to my collection. Saving to Iki and heading back over into the interface, I'll click on the library. And right here, I've got the article from Noah. Now it's currently processing this, right? So the assistant is not going to be available immediately. It takes some time to digest information. All right, now the context is indexed. That literally took maybe like 10 seconds. Now, I don't love the fact that it didn't pull in an image as the thumbnail. I would have thought it would have done that, especially since we've got this big picture of Cal Newport kind of high up in the document. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Now, there's no way to edit that myself as far as I can tell. We can set images for collections. So I could go into one of these collections, as you already saw, change that cover photo. If you don't set a cover photo, it's going to pull one in for you. Like I added one single document to this collection and it had this image in it. So now it's the cover of my collection. But back to the article from Noah that I just saved into Iki. So I've got it open here on the left. And what I like about this tool is it brings everything into the editor so I can read the entire article here. I don't have to go off to the web because sometimes these things change, they get taken down, and I want to have a source of truth saved right here. Now, over on the right-hand sidebar, I can have it do some simple things like extract the key ideas. Let's click on this, and there we go. It's going to give me a bullet point list of some key ideas. So I'm going to ask, how does Noah apply Cal's ideas to Appsumo? And it tells me that Noah doesn't actually talk about this in the article. Well, the article is called Cal Newport Changed My Life, Noah, what gives? So I'm going to say, how did Cal change Noah's life? Nothing there either. Come on, Noah, don't leave me with these clickbait headlines. Okay, so all jokes aside, I could continue engaging with this article, asking it more questions, or even having it create some content. Like one of the preset options is to have it create a tweet about this article. I can click that. It's going to give me a tweet that I can, share on social media and become famous, obviously. But the feature I think is most cool is that I can actually save these outputs as notes. So I'm going to go back up here to when it extracted the key ideas, and clicking this plus button, it's going to save a note right here. So it's saved the answer to notes. And you'll notice I've got another tab up here that says notes. And there it is. Here is my brand new note. I can click right into this note and edit it as I see fit. This is a great book, whatever you'd like to do. When you're done, just hit the save button and your edits will be retained. Now there's another option over here called related, and it's essentially going to give you other links similar to the one that you saved. So maybe you like this article, you can continue reading about things of a similar nature. And of course, if I do want to get back to that original page I mentioned just a few moments ago, how I brought everything in, but maybe I do want to go back to the original URL, there is a link right up here. Oh, by the way, you can just add your own note. You don't have to do it from the output of AI. You can create a new note from nothing if you just want to make your own notes. A little UI thing here I don't love is that when you go to make a note, the article is hidden. I think the article should still be up while you're creating your note. So that way, you can take notes. So here's a tweet that I saw earlier on Twitter about 2 hours ago. I saved it over to my Iki. I'm going to click on it, and I think it's really cool how it saved this tweet. Now, I've got the summary right here, but if I click into it, I get the entire tweet, and it's actually really long. It's talking about this new feature on YouTube called Hype. I've never heard of this before, thought it was really cool, and I wanted to save it. So it's for smaller YouTubers, much like myself, where you can go in and you can not just like their video, but you can hype their video. You only get to do this 3 times per week, I think is what it was, and then it'll actually give them a bigger boost than just liking them. You've got to be under 500,000 followers, so it actually is a pretty cool idea. Now, what's really cool here is that they pulled in all of the information from the tweet, even a video that was embedded in the tweet. I can play right here inside of the Iki player. I don't know what we call this, the little Iki screen here. So here's a little demo of hyping up a video and what that looks like. Pretty cool concept. Good job, YouTube. All right, so now that we've added some content into Iki, let's take a tour of the library page. We can see what it does when we add content, and we can also perform a search. So here is the library page. Now, one thing I don't like about it is that it displays both collections as well as the individual pieces. So you can see I've got my Appsumo collection up here. I've got my YouTube growth section up here, but then I also have the place where it pulled the image from, which is this tweet that I saved. It also tags your posts automatically, but I have to say that I don't think it's super high quality. Like if we look at, say, the Noah Kagan post that I saved about Cal Newport, the only tag it gave was social media. I can click right here where it says AI summary, and it gives me a very brief summary of what the article is about, but it's not really as helpful, I think, as it could be because, basically I'm going to have to click into it to read anything more. It could give maybe more like a post excerpt type of link right there. The other icons you see at the bottom of a piece of content are first to add the material to a collection, which is great. We can add a new collection here if we wanted to create one from scratch or add it to an existing collection. So let's say this was going to be that LTD life because it's one of my videos. I'm going to click there. I'll add it to the collection. It kind of pauses for a second, then goes dim. Now, the screen just sets here. It doesn't say added to collection or really give me any indicator of what's going on. I could X out here and then it would have been added to the collection, but like I said, there's no notification. I could also add it to another collection and again, no notification. Oh, it went away. How'd that happen? I've actually never been able to get something to be removed from a collection. So I'm clicking again. It's not doing anything here. As far as I can tell, there's no way to actually remove an item from a collection once it's been added to that collection. There's a slightly different interface. If you open up an article, then go to collections, we get these check boxes here, but I can't uncheck anything. So that's definitely a bug, something that needs to be fixed. The last thing to talk about is there is a bookmarks feature over here. You can bookmark a collection, you can bookmark an individual piece of content, and then it's simply going to live over here under bookmarked. This is essentially like a favorites folder or a favorite designation, so you can see items that you need to access more often. I'm not sure it needs to exist because we do have the collections, so we could just have like a favorites collection and then add to that. But I thought I'd mention it. It exists. So yeah, that's an extra feature. All right, so let's head over to the search section. We'll wrap this thing up and go check out the plans and pricing on Appsumo. So the last part of searching here was searching the library. Obviously, now I'm going to be able to engage with all of the information I've already accumulated. So I can say things like, who is Cal Newport? Now I'm searching across all of my articles. So if I had multiple items about Cal Newport, it would go into each one of those and give me the answer. So you can see here, it actually found the correct item, the Noah Kagan article. Now, from this, I could give it another prompt, like write an essay about Cal Newport's deep work and how to utilize concepts from it while working from home. I'll submit that, and then the copilot will actually output an entire article here. All right, so that's how Iki works. Now let's head back over to Appsumo and we'll talk about the plans and pricing. I already mentioned that the current best price is $39, probably likely to be $49 within a few days here, but there are other plans available. Now, first of all, tier 1, I don't necessarily recommend because you only get 200 instances of the copilot per month. If you go up to tier 2, which is another $90, it's not like it's just doubling 39, it's a lot more money. But then you get 3 users, so you can use this with a team and share your information internally just to those 3 members. And you also get unlimited use of the copilot, which is absolutely what you want for a situation like this. And if 3 users isn't enough for you, you can go up to 5 users. I'm a little confused on this. Let me show you why. So back over in Iki, there's a subscription page right here. And when I click on it, it shows me the Appsumo plans. Now, I'm on tier 1, but tier 2 gives me the private space for my team. But if I go to tier 3, I get a private space for a 3-people team, but it includes 5 users. So does that mean 2 of the users just don't get to share information? This is a really weird thing. I'm sure it's probably I have to think it's a typo, right? I mean, I'm not saying it is, but I would guess it is. Okay, so hopefully they address that at some point and clear up, what those other 2 users are for. But the other thing that we need to talk about is the video transcription. You get 5, 40, or 100 hours of video transcription, which as you saw is not currently working. So if that's the reason you upgrade, maybe stick with tier 2 or tier 1. Now, to be fair, if I add another video in here, it does have a notice. It says, we're sorry, this was a global problem affecting all YouTube parsers, and as soon as it is fixed, we'll continue transcription support. So they seem to think that this will come back online. However, it's not right now, and that's really what matters. If you're dead set on using this for a transcription tool, definitely hold off until this is back online. I'll have an update for you about this on the next episode of the Taco Truck Roundup. If it's solved by then, I'll let you know. So that's the perfect time to mention to get subscribed to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you do get the latest LTD updates. I mentioned a second ago the Taco Truck Roundup. These videos get to be a little bit long, so if you want to get it in more of a digest type of format, check out the Taco Truck Roundup. It comes out about once per week where I give you just 3-4 minute summaries of each video that I make. If you're already subscribed, thank you, but then hit the like button. Don't you love how YouTubers have to nag you for everything? It's just part of the game. All right, so time for the final score. Now, before I give it to you, I know the comments are probably already filled with, what about Save Day versus Iki? I just made a video about Save Day. They are very similar in terms of their functionality, so which one is going to be better? Well, I can't really say that because Save Day had some issues, Iki has some issues. Which ones bother you least? For me, it's probably Iki right now, but I really like the user interface of Save Day as well. If I didn't know the other application existed, I'd probably be very happy with either. Some kind of minor points for Iki versus Save Day. It has a username and password login system. You don't have to authenticate through Apple or Google like you did for Save Day. That's kind of a big bummer, I think, for a lot of people. So +1 for Iki. However, Save Day's Chrome extension was a lot better. You could just do a lot more. You could mark certain points in videos. You could highlight sections on pages. It just is a lot more versatile. So I'm not going to tell you definitively which one I think is best here. That's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. However, I will give you a final score for Iki, which is going to be 7.6, which is considerably lower than Save Day, but it is penalized by the fact that the transcription is not working, a major feature of the tool. If you found this video helpful, make sure you click on the link down below to support the channel before you make a purchase over at Appsumo. Check out clientamp.com to get signed up for the free email newsletter. I'm Dave Swift. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.